And I've taught for 30 years. I'm mostly a special education teacher. I've taught elementary through high school, and then just love to learn about tech and teach tech as much as I can. Currently, I am the principal of Capital, and I've taught for SuperQuest for years and years and years and years. So Jan?
Hi, I'm Jan. I teach at North Marion Intermediate School, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. I'm a technology teacher and a library media specialist. So I have the joy of teaching technology all day long to kids. So it's been fun to be able to work with teachers and trying to incorporate some more technology in their classroom through distance learning as well.
So if we can have each person introduce yourself. I'm not sure the best way to run down through the group. So Penny, will you start and tell us who you are, what you teach, maybe some troubles you had last year as far as distance learning stuff goes, and what you hope to learn here.
Okay, I am Penny McDermott. I teach 4th grade in Newport, and some distance learning challenges maybe was assessing students' skills as we were proceeding through the different lessons. It was hard for me to get a gauge on how they were doing with the material.
Understand.
So I have Jessica next on my list. How about Jessica?
I'm Jessica, and I am going to be teaching 1st grade this year at Capital Christian with Stacy. And I have zero experience teaching online because I just spent the last 6 years on a little hiatus from teaching, raising my 2 little boys. So I am brand new to all of the Google Classroom and everything. So excited to learn.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael Rocha. I'm at Stevenson Elementary in Portland Public Schools. I'm a media specialist there. I'm here to see what new things I can learn for online learning and to support. Maybe I'll gain something so I can also support my teachers and parents.
Did you guys do a lot of videoing when you went to distance learning?
I did a little bit, but I think some of my teachers didn't. There's a little bit of video, mostly recording.
Okay. Did people talk? Did you guys have a chance as a staff to talk about how people felt about videoing?
Not yet, but I feel like that's probably coming up in the next week or so.
Okay.
It's going to be a new world with this fall distance learning. Fine.
Right.
Thank you. Ricardo?
Hello again, Ricardo Palazuelos. I actually substitute with Beaverton School District. I used to substitute with Beaverton School District while we were being on call. I have also conducted a few, I call it some high school STEM camps where videoing wasn't part of the structure itself, but it actually allowed us to put some content, kind of like a flipped classroom model where they were able to look at some of the instruction and then come to the camps with some questions already in there. However, right now in my regular work, I actually do some educating with the Washington County Public Outreach, and we are trying to make our education available to all our community members, especially those who are marginalized communities, and making it as easy for them to produce their own work so they can just spread it out throughout their communities. Well, that's the wrong word. So actually they can share that with their communities. And this seems to be a really low ceiling way for them to actually do it without too much technology learning. So also the kind of devices that they are available, that we can make available for them to actually accomplish that goal. So that is like the main goal for this. And we'll see in the fall if I resume some of that substitute teaching. Thank you.
Yeah. So what kind of devices do you plan on using?
Well, currently we're exploring. These community members actually rely on funding coming from government, regional government, or local government. And so we're looking at what is the best value for it, looking at Apple devices. Despite their cost, they seem to be very user-friendly, as well as have an environment, a network, and everything that makes them really it's the same base. Where you have two Android devices may not have the same program, they may not have the specific components that make them a one solution type thing where you can actually do one and let it go, you want training and let it go. So we're looking at doing that. As a matter of fact, I may not be doing a lot of work right now because the machine that I'm using is new and it is behind like 3 or 4 firewalls and it's updating. So, but it is like, we want to make sure that it is something that is easy for them, that they're familiar with, and that they can actually use, you know, that everything is within the same environment.
Right. With the Apple products, it's really nice because it's so user friendly, but they are more expensive.
Right. So we're weighing all that, but I think it's the value that we're looking for rather than the cost itself. So we'll do a little bit more, try to do a little bit better budgeting.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
All right, Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Smith. I'm the TAG coordinator for Junction City School District. And as a teacher, one of my favorite things is being a student, learning new things. One of my concerns in this last spring was the social emotional part of reaching out to kids, because just like I'm doing a black screen today because I've got other things going on, but students that had that black screen and weren't speaking up in class, it's really hard to see them and know how they're doing. And so I don't know if there's a hint in here for that, but would love to figure that one out.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I think we're probably looking in both directions, students and teachers who are, I know for me, it's really uncomfortable to have my face on the screen and to videotape myself and to put that out there. And so hopefully we'll be able to address that from both sides. The uncomfortable social stuff of adults as well as kids. It's great that you're here. All right, did I get everybody? I'm running out of arrow stop. Is there anybody here that I missed?
Oh, me.
Oh,
Julie?
Julie, where are you? There
I'm
you
here.
are. Hi.
Hi. So I am first grade teacher at St. Francis in Bend. And this year I am also, well, I'm giving up my first grade to be the administrator of the building. But I've also been the technology kind of guru, or I don't know how else to describe it. I keep pushing my staff towards using different kinds of technology. And I think that green screen brings out a certain creativity in students that also brings out a depth in what they're doing by putting in different backgrounds. They really have to think about the context of what they want to say. And for first graders, sometimes they don't think in those terms. So that's, I've just found it a really excellent way to promote that. And I have very little experience, so I wanted to get some more training so that I could be more effective with it.
Awesome. All right, who else did I miss? I've got you just on this little
I think that's all.
corner pictures. Is that everybody? Because I don't want to miss anybody.
For now, until somebody pops in.
Okay, then we're ready. We're going to be talking about how to videotape yourself, how to edit, how to add music and sound effects to cut out those parts of your videos where you wish you didn't have it in there. Talking about parts of your instruction that maybe you would like to repeat over and over, or have a video of it go over and over while kids have a chance to learn what you're helping them do. Like if you're helping them fold paper in a certain way, sometimes it helps to have a loop of you folding the paper over and over and over until the kids have it just right. Our intent is kind of to give you information on how to use these tools, and then you use them for whatever you want to do, whether you only use them for your personal getting your instruction out there, or whether you use it for your students to be creating these things as well and bringing it together. We'll have some examples of how we put together a presentation at the end of the year, because we closed out in March, how we put together our kindergarten graduation so that our kids were still able to participate in their graduation, the families were still apart, and we ended up with kind of a fun way to present their graduation. So we'll show that to you too.
Stacy's going to take you on a kind of a tour of how she app smashed that all together too. She used multiple different apps to create this pretty phenomenal end of the year promotion for her kindergarten classes. So with that, here we are.
Oh, okay, are we ready?
Yep.
You
Keep
do, you
going.
say.
Okay, so I can't see because I've got, okay. Where do you envision that you can use video projects in your classroom? So we're going to take you to a Padlet. I'm going to put it in the chat. So this is hard. Can you copy, paste, and put it in the chat, Stace?
Sure.
Because maybe I have to do it. I've got it. I just have to stop presenting to do it, or stop full screen. Sorry, guys. Think about what you're going to do. We're going to take you to a Padlet, which is another app that you can use for distance learning. Oops, sorry.
Hi, Kara, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Sorry.
So
Too
Kara,
many-
what do you teach
Uh-huh.
and where do you teach?
Right now I'm currently substituting. I teach high school science and middle school math.
Perfect.
I'm going to stop sharing.
You're going to be busy this year, right?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully teachers won't get COVID. So other than that,
I think once we get to the point where we can meet personally, I think there are going to be people that are going to have to be out instead of for 2 days.
Yep.
When we feel crummy, they're going to be out for 2 weeks.
yeah, that's what I'm expecting. I'm glad that Medford is delaying in person, except I guess for the little ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so the link is in the chat to go to the Padlet now. Should be able to take you there. Somebody's already typing. Awesome. I'm going to share this.
Oh, wait. Oops.
You're fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So tell us how to do it.
They click on the link. It should bring up the Padlet, and you can just click on the plus sign at the bottom of the screen, and it brings up a little box, little text box that you can type in whatever your answer to the question. With Padlet, there is some, hold on for one, I'm going to share that screen so they can see it. Is it sharing Padlet? I can't tell. What is it showing me? Okay. So with Padlet, there's some nice features if you haven't used it before. There's a way that it blocks kids from using profanity. We tested it. Stacy tried really hard to break that, and it didn't. Pretty much, I think, blocked everything. Doesn't block it on her side, but it blocks it from coming up here, which is nice for distance learning. You don't have to worry about that. And it gives kids a chance to voice and talk. You can, I've limited your ability to react to just liking it, but you can have a thumbs up, thumbs down. They can comment on each other's Padlet. I didn't do that today, but it's kind of you get so many free, and there's enough because you can use it and then, you know, get rid of those and then use it again. It's kind of an older platform, but I feel like with distance learning, it gives kids another way to express themselves when you're on that distance learning. So.
Sorry, I'm having to type it in because my old iPad, you said to bring 2 devices and my old iPad is too old. I was keeping the new one for all the, for all of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a question because I'm brand new to all of this. So like, as a first grade teacher and trying to envision my students doing this, like for me, I had to go, or it popped up to a big screen. I had to minimize it to be able to see the Zoom meeting and all that kind of stuff. So where would you use Padlet? Maybe if you're working with first graders, would you?
It's tricky with first graders on
Yeah.
technology without being able to teach it to them first in person. Okay. So you would have to almost walk them through before you have them, you know, sign in so they can see how you do it. Okay. It's tricky, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard with even third graders. to get this when they're new to so many different technology platforms. One thing that we found last spring is that when we introduce too many new things especially to our younger kids, we introduced Google Classroom, we introduced Pear Deck, we introduced, teachers were so excited and trying so hard to get kids engaged that it ended up being simply overwhelming to the families. So keeping it simple at first, I think, is a good thing, and getting your families used to something there. Since we won't have the opportunity to teach these kids first and foremost in the classroom face-to-face, you're having to explain not only your instruction for your core subjects, but also how to do these apps. And that becomes tricky. So I think we've come up with several different things.
I also think one of the nice things about this kind of class is, since you're doing it yourself too, you see where the problems are and you see where it's hard, and then how you can split your screen. And if it always helps me to tumble around through it myself before I figure out how I can teach it to other people.
It's just not going to let me in. So
that's okay. Don't even worry about it.
I've used it before, so.
Right. So it's no worries. It's just, we were just trying to give you just ability to see what it's like on a student side too, for something like this.
Okay.
So this is, lots of different things. A lot of people want to use it for interactive read alouds, which I think is awesome. Retelling stories with the older kids or even with the younger kids. You'll see what Stacy did with kindergarten, and it's pretty phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead, do we need the Padlet up anymore? Or can we go ahead and shut that one off and go back to our, ready? I'm going to stop sharing this one. I'll share my other one. Okay. All right, sorry about the switching with one computer. Okay. We were gonna do a poll, but we can just ask.
So how familiar are you with the green screen? Can you like thumbs up it or thumbs down as far as if you've used green screen before?
We only have thumbs up, so thumbs down.
Oh, that's true. How sad is that?
They don't have it. I don't have it.
Okay.
So I'm let's split it up. How about just iMovie first? How do you feel about iMovie?
Thumbs down.
Okay. Because we're going to be doing a lot talking about iMovie, and it is phenomenal, and it can make the dumbest things seem really cool.
Okay, now switching it over, how about green screen? How familiar are you with green screen?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I only see a couple people thumbs up. And then the people that have used green screen before, have you used green screen that's with the iMovie, that's already inbuilt into iMovie? Or did you use an app like Dewey or something for green screen?
Yeah, I've only used Dewey.
Right, which is great, but it's a paid app. So it's, but in iMovie, if you have iOS devices and you have iMovie on it, you can actually do green screen right in your iMovie now, which is kind of nice. So you don't have to have that extra app to buy. Dewey is a fabulous app, but it does run like, what, $3.99 for just the Dewey app. And then there's another one that's another $3, I think, but that's for every device. So it's kind of nice to use something that you don't have to purchase extra apps for.
And we can use it in combination with a recorded Zoom meeting too.
Right. So we're here.
So this is just a quick thing about, we had, school stopped in March, and our kindergartners had already started learning songs for their kindergarten graduation, and they had already started learning parts for a play. And so what we decided to do was I brought in a green screen, and we set it up, and we had each family every 20 minutes were assigned an appointment time to come in, and the child got their pretend graduation diploma. They got, they said their line in the play in front of the green screen, and then we took pictures of them of a background with their little caps and gowns on. And then we ended up taking different parts of those recordings and cutting them apart and putting them together so that we could put together all of them singing their song together, the songs that they learned together, as well as putting their play together. And it seemed overwhelming in the beginning, but I think it ended up pretty cool. So if we can show that to you, just a couple minutes of it.
Is it showing you or is it
Not yet.
Did it stay? Oh, okay, but it went.
So can I talk while it goes?
Mm-hmm.
So in the very beginning, you'll see, I think, a colored, so that's the background from my iPhone. Some of the, you know, where you can pick your backgrounds or what your,
Hold on for a second. Turn your volume down so I can turn this one up.
Okay.
And you can use mine. Is this one my phone? So this is a.
what are we doing?
You've got something on. You have to end.
Not sure how Mr. Biden joined us.
So mine. Can anybody hear us right now? Because we're having trouble with our, so you can hear. Could you hear the kids on the play?
No.
Okay, let's
No.
Okay, let's try it and see what it does.
There you go. No. Getting feedback, Jan.
Again. I don't know what to do. Talk. Did you unmute me? So Stacy has her kids. This is actually the green screen right here. We were trying to show you it live, but we'll see if it mutes or not.
Land ho! You're the pirates, and so they will to the west. Black!
That's working.
Okay.
Go back to the
Now you
end.
can talk over it.
So can you hear while it's playing? Can you hear me talking?
Crystal clear bay.
Yep, that's working.
Okay, so each of these kids just recorded their part, and then the background is an ocean, and it's just an actual photograph from the internet. And then it was set on the Ken Burns effect, which makes things look like they're moving. So this is a series of really quick videos that we were able to put together for so that they were still able to have their play. So we're done. Okay, there. So do you have iMovie? If you can open up your iMovie, that would be awesome.
Jan and Stacy, that's amazing. As a parent, I just think that's cool.
Thanks.
Stacy did a great job with that. I wish you could have seen it without all the technical difficulties you were having, because that was not cool.
So we
Whatever you did there at the end worked fine. The last like 5 minutes.
Awesome. So the singing was through Zoom meetings, and we recorded Zoom meetings, and then I needed to go through and pick parts so that really each family got to see their child singing as well. So that was probably the longest to put it together, to go through hours and hours of Zoom meetings and pick different parts. But it was really fun too. So do you have your iMovie up?
You're going to show your screen with iMovie so they can.
All right, so I have found that there are a couple different versions of iMovie. So look at yours and see. I'm going to share my screen.
You share it. Go back to your video, the other one first, and you have to share it from there.
All right, so does your screen look similar to this without pictures of dogs? You give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a quick comment.
I have an old iMac that I'm turning on right now, but it looks similar to that.
Okay.
Really.
So this is the newest version that's out. I ended up, because all the videos took so much room out of my computer, that I ended up having to delete this to do something else. And so when I reloaded it, this is the new version. Does anybody have something that looks different than this?
Yeah, I'm using the iPad version. All it says is create project.
Okay, so that's where we want to start.
Okay, and then I select photos and I got my photos, so.
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to name your movie, right? And do you see, okay, here we've got this create new. Does your screen look like this? So you're going to create new. You want to choose movie instead of trailer. And then if you look, up on the top, it says My Media. So that's where you can bring in pictures or videos. Audio is where you bring in music. Titles is where, like on that video that you saw with the kids in their play, that's where I was able to put in the words that they were using, so that if you couldn't really understand what they were saying, there was a way that you could see their words. Backgrounds are backgrounds, and we'll be using those more in the green screen part of this. And then the transitions part is more like a PowerPoint, how you transition between slide. This transition you between clips of music or clips of your video clips or pictures. So those are the things along that top menu. So if you go back to My Media and go to however you want to pull your pictures up, I go from photos and then pick a couple videos, pick a couple pictures, whatever you want. Then you're just playing for right now. So it doesn't matter what the pictures are of. But just pick a couple things and drop them, have them ready. So what I'm gonna do to bring this little picture of this puppy, I click it and then I drag it down and it will put it right into the movie itself. And it's taken one picture and it's turned it into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures. So when I run this movie, it's this same picture for a period of time. Not sure how to make it run.
Pull down the class one, the class thing, pull it down.
So do you have pictures in there? Grab a couple pictures, grab a couple movies. And just keep dropping them in.
So you can drop it down. Or maybe you can't. Never mind. Yeah, so you can see your stuff. And I'll keep mine up so I can see.
So then in my movie, if I click at the far left and then I hit play, it will play my movie. And there's a thing called the Ken Burns effect, which kind of scans through your picture and then it makes it actually look more like a movie. So I'll give you a couple minutes or a few seconds to drop some more pictures in.
With the meeting, it'd be great if when you have yours dropped in, if you could just say something to us or drop something into the chat. It's hard to know when you are ready with this, when we're sharing so many screens. Is this on?
Kathy,
I've dropped all my pictures. I press play, it's going. It
awesome.
doesn't seem to let me name it yet, but
we can name it later at the end.
Okay. But oh, okay, I see. It's displaying it.
And then do you hit play? Is it going?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody else, you ready for the next step? Okay. So if you go to audio, you will see they have all kinds of sound effects. They have all kinds of music in the search. If you just put, like I wanted to have like a cheering sound in mine. So I just put in cheer and I have an arena crowd cheer that sounds like this. Oh, it's not gonna, did you hear it? Can you hear it? I can't hear it. Okay, and then this is a cheering crowd. Mm-hmm. So you can take, I'm going to pull this cheering crowd down. So you just pull it right into your work area. And you can pick any sound effect you want. You can pick any music you want.
Stop.
And just pull it right down into your workspace. Is anybody having any trouble with that? So when you have clicked on something like on the screen, if you look down, it says playful 59.6 seconds. So that's how long this song will play. but it'll repeat over and over if you want it to. When it's selected, then I can activate the far left side to bring it over to the beginning of my movie, or I guess I'm bringing my movie to it. And then if you can see, it makes it through the first picture, it makes it through the second picture. And then I put in a movie that has my fish tank, and the song just keeps going right through. So if I play my movie, it will be the same song through all of these pictures. So how's everybody feeling about that?
Thumbs up.
Is it going to?
I just was able to shorten the songs for each picture, remove them. I figured that out, so.
Yes.
Okay, everybody else about there as well? So if you can let us know in the chat if we're going too fast or we're going too slow or it doesn't make sense. I kind of just want to throw out several different things and then you can have time to play. So if you will click on the first picture that you added in, there will be a yellow line around it. And then if you double click, it gives you options of what you can do. You can cut it out, you can copy it, and then paste it. So that's how you would end up showing something over and over and over. If you had a loop of a video that you wanted to show over and over, you could just copy it and paste it in the next spot or wherever you want it by double clicking in there. You can split the clip. So what's nice about splitting a clip is if you feel like that's too long for that picture to be there, you can figure out how long you want it to be there. So you can, I need to get it big again. So if I feel like this, what am I doing? If I feel like this picture is just here for too long, I can double click, I can split it. And now the part that has yellow around, if I hit delete, that will be thrown away. So if you have a movie, like I have this goldfish movie, and if you find that it's too long or there's a place that you really want to take out, so you would play it until you find the place you want to cut it. And then if you double click where you want it to be cut, you can cut out that part. Whoa.
You cut the whole thing. You didn't
I
split
cut
it
out the whole
first.
thing, sorry. So you Control Z to fix your whatever you just messed up on. And I want to, tell me about this trimmer, it's different.
Okay.
All right, I will figure out, this is different than the last version I had of how to trim your movie.
I think you just trim it. You just drag it and then it highlights.
Tell me.
And then I don't know. So I can't do it on yours.
All right, I'm gonna have to tell you in a minute how to clip it because I'm not clipping it very well. If you can go to titles next. So if you will highlight a picture, go to titles, and all of these different titles up here will come in differently and you just really need to play. So I'm clicking on pop up lower third. And then you can put the text, so to the right, it says text title here. And then you can play it to see how it goes. So you would want to start at the beginning of your movie.
Is anyone on the iPad version? I can't find that menu.
The menu of titles?
Yeah.
I'll grab one. You got
Okay.
your iPad right there.
I'll be with you 2 seconds.
It's the way you clipped it is how you drag it over, right?
So
click.
tell me what you see on your screen.
I have a microphone and a camera that goes to my actual record. I've made the movie. When I hit plus, I see media, moments, video, photos, albums, files, or audio.
Okay. So go to video. So have you already put a video in?
No. I mean, I made the picture.
So are you, okay, so do you see, so if you go, do you see recently added? Under media?
Nope.
Do you see all under media?
I do see all, but all it has is all the videos on my iPad. It doesn't have this one I've created because I haven't named it.
Okay, so go back.
Uh-huh.
Are you in media? Go back to where it says media at the top.
Uh-huh.
And then go to photos. Is it there?
It's not an iMovie media. It's not, let's see, photos. Photos are photos.
So what did you just make?
Well, I have a little movie that will play on my iPad, but I can't, there's no menu for saving it, naming it. I added in sounds.
Is it in your photos? Where is it in your iPad?
Well, maybe I clicked done. Okay, I had to click done.
Okay, so you're good?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So everybody else, are you at a place where you want to play yet?
Hold on, I'm trying to get back up.
Save video, okay.
Okay.
So you know how to put pictures in, you know how to put the video in, you know how to put a title in, and sound effects. Are we good with that kind of thing? I think now would be a good time if you want to take a few minutes and just kind of play with each of these different features until you can feel comfortable with it.
What time is it? We'll give them about 5 minutes.
Is anyone else having trouble actually, like when I go to, so I have an old version, so I have to go into the import to get my movies and my photos in. And I was wondering if anyone else is having trouble with the photos and videos being kind of gray, so you can't select them to put them in.
So you're on an iPad.
No, I'm on an iMac.
And you're in your photos.
Well, see, I have a very old version, so I'm going into the import, and I'm importing from Camera Archive.
Okay.
And so everything is just grayed out, so I can't select it. I was able to select a movie, but I wasn't able to select, I'm not able to select photos.
So what does the rest of your screen look like right now?
Can she share a screen?
No, because I'm on a different computer.
Okay.
So I'm in since I'm importing, I'm actually, I have your regular, kind of import boxes come up on the left-hand side. I've got all my different, whether I'm doing the iCloud desktop.
So can you put your screen up to the screen?
All right.
It's not working.
Okay. Can you see that? So here's, I'm clicked on whatever I'm clicked on, but when I get over here, all of them are grayed out. So they're not black where I can actually select them.
How did you get there?
I had to go to import.
She has the older version.
Yeah, because I don't have my media where I can just go and click on it.
So can you go back to the beginning of iPad or the beginning of iMovie and show me what your screen looks like. So I think you have the new form.
This is iMovie 11. It's so my version is 9.0.4. So the copyright date on it is 2011. So I highly doubt it's the new version.
So when you show up your photos, can you just drag it?
But I can play around with it. I mean, I've used it before, so I can play around. It's just been a long time since I've used it. So I was wondering if anyone else had that issue and was able to
step you through
it out. So it's okay. I'll just play around with it.
So as individuals, can you let us know, like, if this is time you want to spend this way? Because it gets kind of crazy if you don't get a chance to play with it. But if you don't, if you're done playing and you want to go on, we kind of need to know that too. So to me, this is the rough part of virtual learning, because it's just so hard to read how people are really doing, especially when they're dark, which is exactly how I want to be in a class when I'm not running it.
Personally, I'd like to see how to do more stuff, and I'm okay playing with it on my own, but I'm also okay if people want something different. So.
All right, so what we'll start doing is, because you have the basic features here, right? Then I think what we need to talk about is the green screen stuff. So if you videotape yourself against anything green, if you have a green wall, a big green piece of paper, let's see, I'm gonna stop my share. If you have anything in the background that's green, then within the iMovie, you will be able to take a picture, load it in as your background, and then that'll change your background to a green screen. And it'll change it to the design that you have.
At school, we've even painted a wall green that we use for part of our green screen. We also have used green butcher paper or a green tablecloth from the dollar store. Those are some things, if you don't have a fancy green screen setup, it's nice if you have the lights and things, but you can really get started without it.
Does anybody have a movie that they'd like to share that they just did? Kara?
This is a very quiet group.
Kara, do you have a movie you want to share?
Sorry, you're so used to doing Zoom on an iPad. Yeah, I do. I emailed it to myself. I don't know why my iCloud isn't working. I think I got it, and I will share it in a second.
Awesome.
All right, it's down. It's pretty big. Wasn't that many pictures?
Let's do it.
I wonder if it'll just play from my email. Nope. All right, it's almost done.
That's okay.
It's really cheesy.
Cheesy's good.
But it's good to get us a start for all of us to see what you're doing. And there's got to be a point here where people are feeling like sharing out and talking about troubles you have, and maybe we can problem solve or come together and have ideas.
Oh God, it wants to use GarageBand to show the movie. Or, I don't know. We'll see. If I zoomed back in and on my iPad, I could share it to you in a second, but.
awesome. That's okay. If you want to do that, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
While she's doing that, is anybody else wanting to share something? What we really need for you to have for the next step to do the green screen is making a little video with you with a green screen background or something with a green screen background so that you can be able to incorporate it into the iMovie.
Where's my note?
I do have a green background, but I need some time to set it up.
Yeah, no, that's fine too. That's the next step, and that will take you into, once you get a video, a little bit of a recording of with a green background, we can do many, many other effects, and you can walk through and actually load that and learn the green screen.
Nope. Yeah, there's no way my old Mac Mini is gonna play this movie.
You want to put your screen up,
Um,
the movie, up to your camera?
oh.
We'll watch it backwards. Mirror.
That's okay. I needed to get the code to log back in. I lost my piece of paper. All right, I will be in a second.
Okay.
All right, so did anybody download the app, excuse me, My Pet?
Yes.
My Pet app, if you can pull that up, let's look at that. So one of the nice things about iMovie is you can make a picture, it seem like a movie. You can make a movie seem like a
Am I
movie.
joined twice?
What's that?
Okay, I'm ready to be let in on the iPad.
Oh, here you come.
All right.
Turn your video off your computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your audio, I mean.
All right, so if you can open your My Talking Pet app. It's super easy to use. Did anybody already play with it?
Ricardo doesn't have an app.
Ricardo, it's in the app store and it's free. There's a free version. There's a free version and a pay version. And the free version is just fine.
Yep.
I guess I don't know how to share the movie. I have share screen, photos, iCloud drives.
Share screen. You're just sharing your screen. They have the movie up. There you go. So you share the screen, and then when it comes up share screen, you click on the movie.
Okay.
And then
okay. Oh, play. Can you guys see it?
no, you're dark. You went dark.
That's because it wants to record me.
That's okay, because that's how it's sharing.
Oh, okay.
You had to give it permission to do that, so you might have to go into your settings to give it permission for Zoom to do that.
Oh, okay. All right, here it goes.
There it is.
Okay.
That's awesome. Or did you just do that while we were here?
Yeah, I just made that while we were doing it.
Excellent.
Okay, I don't know how to get back to Zoom, but I'm still over here. So.
Does anybody else have one they want to show?
I'm in here twice.
All right, so if you are in the app of My Talking Pet, you're going to click New, Create New. There's a plus button. And then you have a choice of gallery or camera, so you can take a picture of anything you want. Today I took a picture of 2 little tomatoes and then I made them talk. So you click your gallery and you can pick any of the pictures that you would like. You pick a picture that you'd like to use. And then there's a check mark up in the upper right. So you click that check mark. And then you'll have on it top of head, 2 eyes, a mouth, a chin, and there are dots. And you're gonna move the dots, the one that's near the side of the face, you're gonna go to the side of whatever picture, where the face of that picture. You're gonna touch and scoot eyes over to wherever the eyes are. Top of the head goes to the top of the head.
Do you want me to put my screen over there?
Chin goes to their chin. And then there are 3 dots for the mouth. And that goes to the mouth. That's us that's doing that.
It must be the iPad.
And when you're through putting the marks where you want them, then there's a little check mark at the bottom in a purple circle. Then you have the choice of recording yourself or choosing things that they've recorded. And there's a record button in the middle, there's a speed button on the left, and a pitch button on the right. So it looks like this. Does your screen look like that? Mm-hmm. Excellent. So Kara, have you picked what you want to talk? Oh, it's a cat. Oh, awesome. Okay. Anybody else have something they want to share that they want to have talk? You're such a quiet group.
I know. Really, I want to unmute you all and have you talk because there's a small.
Well, you did tell us to, observe the proper etiquette of muting ourselves, so that might be why we're so quiet.
I think with this group, it's small enough we could all unmute. Then we could actually interact because we're feeling like, we're just talking to ourselves.
You guys are doing great.
Okay, so does everybody have a picture? And you put your eyes in your face markings. So hit record and say something. Now that everybody's unmuted. All right, hit record and say something. And then you can play around with the speed of your voice. So there's a play button here. So here is my talking tomato. Hit record and say something. So when I hit play, all right, hit record and say something. Now, if you have something, so Kara, do you have something with eyes? Did you have a cat? Have you changed pictures?
Are you still doing the cat?
I'm
There you go.
All right, so there's a cat that you can choose from, and it actually has eyes and a mouth, and they already have it set up so that you can hit and record, and then this cat is saying something. So hit record and say something. Here's the cat. So hit record and say something. So it makes the cat talk. If you have a picture of anything that has eyes or that you want to make it have eyes and a mouth, it works. And then I want to show you a different app where you can take a picture and like a picture of a rock and you can make it talk. So let us know how you feel about this talking pet thing.
That my talking pet, you can input right into iMovie. So it's one of those app smashing apps that Stacy used with her kindergarten program. You can tell them about.
So this will make like a movie that you can move in. You can just pull that once you save it to videos, then you can pull it out and add it anywhere in your movie. So I had a little boy that was 2. He didn't really talk very much at all under any circumstances, and being recorded was really challenging for him. So when it came time for him to do the video, he did not want to do it. And it ended up being kind of embarrassing for his parents because everybody was there ready to film it and we couldn't do it. And so what we ended up doing is have his mom, just whenever he was comfortable at home, say whatever his line was. And then I took a picture of a stuffed animal. There was this pirate monkey. And with the still picture of it, I was able to put it into Talking Pet, scoot the eyes over, make it, focus everything around its face. And his mom had recorded him saying his line. His mom had recorded him saying his line, so then I could put that in as the voice. And so then it ended up the monkey was saying his line with his voice. So he was still participating in the activity, but he didn't have to be there being recorded. So far these are free. So no, this is Stacy. Our district does not pay for the apps, though we do have, I think if we had teachers that were interested in doing it, we would certainly look into the cost. Yeah, you'd import it into iMovie, Ricardo. You just pull it in just like any other picture or video.
Yeah.
So another app that you can have a free version, and then you can go ahead and pay for more. It's called Over, O-V-E-R. And if you can find that app, it is incredible.
And the free versions of both of these are just fine. You don't have to do, like I've used My Talking Pet, I have the free version. It just leaves a little watermark of the mic in the bottom corner of your video that says My Talking Pet, where if you have the paid version, it takes that out. What she's showing you now, there's so much that you can do on the free version. Just like with Padlet, there's a lot you can do with that. Edpuzzle, unfortunately, limits you to 30. So people, but everything has a version of it being free, so.
And My Talking Pet and Over both work on your phone too. Mm-hmm. And so you can do all kinds of things on your phone and then just send it in an email, attach it in an email, or airdrop it into your device.
Over, there's a web.
Do they work on Androids or just iPhones?
I think My Talking Pet does have an Android version. And Over, there's a web, I can get the link for the web version of Over and put it in the chat.
This is Ricardo. I'm sorry. While you're doing this, have you been approved? Have you been allowed to use these apps within your school's network? Is your admin okay with that?
So far.
Our school is tiny, so and I'm the admin, so I'm good with it. But we're tiny.
That helps.
Mine is.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
iMovie, we have to be tricky with our kids who can't be video. With the media, you have to watch for that. Anytime you're using any video recording, if you have kids that can't be photographed or recorded, make sure that their faces aren't on those, which makes My Talking Pet kind of a great asset with that, because they can be anybody but still do their presentation. Same with Flipgrid, which is another awesome tool. If you haven't tried Flipgrid, that's free for educators. It is fantastic. It's a whole nother platform, and without time to getting into that, but it is.
Well, what was the name of that again?
Flipgrid, and it is great.
Lip, like your lip? Oh, flip.
Flipgrid. I'll put it in the chat. And then I'm still working on the over. Sorry. Flipgrid. Flipgrid is great with kids, students, even first graders, once they learn how to do it, can do a little response on what they did or how they can even explain a math problem to you, videotaping it. And you, as a teacher, make a grid. But it's a whole nother platform. They had tons and tons of instructional videos on YouTube or on within Flipgrid itself. Yeah, Rebecca, they do love it too. They really get into it.
So, how are you for downloading over? Is everybody ready to play with that? So when I open over, this is what it looks like. And down on the bottom, there is a yellow square with a plus sign. And when you click that, that's the beginning of making a project. And then you'll get a screen that looks like this. And up at the top, you can choose whether you want to load a video or an image, a video, if you want to have a transparent background, a white background, or a black background. So I picked an image. And I picked tomatoes that were on Jen's counter and pulled that in. If you look along the bottom, there are all these different formats that you can do the pictures for. So if you want, like if you do Instagram or you do Facebook or any of these other different things, you can Twitter, YouTube. Anyway, you can pick whatever format you want your picture to be. For videoing, I just picked the square one.
Stacy, this is over Graphic Design Maker, right?
Yes. It's like yellow with a white O on it.
Yeah.
So when you've got your picture in there and you've got the size or what kind you want it to be, then you push the yellow check mark. And then that will bring up probably an advertisement, and you get out of there. And then you should have your picture looking like this. And this works as a series of layers. So this is just one of the layers in my project. And so I've loaded the picture, and that's a layer. And now I'm going to work on another layer that's on top of it. So if you look along the bottom, you'll see image, text, graphic, shape, and video. So image would be bringing in another picture on top of this. Text is putting in words. So if you wanted to, well, put words in it, however you want to put the words in. So if you just click on that text for right now, and I'm going to type my name, just type anything you want on there. And below here, so here I've typed my name, and then right in this area, there are words like Maven, Pro, Nexa, and these are the names of different fonts. And you can scroll through those fonts and it will change whatever you typed. So then you can have as creative a font as you want, or fix it according to what the tone of whatever you're doing is. And then you can, on the right side, you can have you know how you can format things to the left or to the right or to the middle. That's there too.
Can you share your screen? I can't even import a picture.
So I'll go back.
There's a web version. I put a link on it in the chat as well. And I just opened it up.
So Kara, does your screen look like this?
No, it made me do a whole bunch of tell me 3 things you're interested in, give me all of and this is what my screen looks like.
So just skip. Do you have a skip option?
I mean, I'm done with that. So it just says discover templates. I have a plus button, teams, projects.
Plus button.
Yeah.
Okay. And now does it look like this?
Yes. Okay.
So now you want to touch the image where it says backgrounds. You pick the picture you want.
Okay.
That'll allow you to add an image. And then you pick a sign down in the lower portion of your screen. You pick whatever size you want your image to be.
Okay.
And then you do the yellow check mark in the top right. And then your picture should come up.
Okay. Thank you.
And now look below on the second, there's a capital letter A and it says text.
Mhm.
So if you touch that, then you can type whatever you want to type. Sorry, too loud.
Oh,
And then scroll through. So it'll say Maven Pro, Nexa. Each of those is a font. So you can scoot your scoot it from the right to the left to pick different fonts. And once you have the font that you like, then you hit the plus sign. And if you leave it in there, so you can with your fingers, if you have a touch screen, you can make the word bigger, 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 or smaller.
But address the screen because it's picking you up on here first.
What?
Address
one?
the screen because the voice is from here now.
Okay. So I made my name huge on that tomato. And if you look down here, where it's still about the font. So the A is kind of purple. And then if you touch color, then that allows you to change the color of your words to all white, all black, or you pick that kaleidoscope and then you can change the color of your words by scooting these things over. And you can make it more or less transparent, brighter, or all of these different things. So your color choices are huge. We good there? Then the next one is size. So that regulates the size. Then you can like make shadowing. Anyway, you can change all of your text through that. So you have just a huge number of different things you can do with your font. When you're finished playing around with your words, then you hit the yellow check mark, and that finished making one more of the layers of your project. So then if you go to shapes, then you can start adding. So this is where I used circles to make eyes or stars to make eyes on a tomato. So you just touch whatever shape you like. It puts it huge on your screen. You make it whatever size you want it to be. You scoot it over to where you want it. You're only gonna be able to make one thing talk at a time. So then if you would go ahead and make a face.
it's only letting, it says you have to have Pro to make shapes. That's what it's telling me. So.
Shapes? What, okay, then I have Pro because I love this thing. What options do you have?
I was able to put in text. I can probably let's see if I can make a video. Well, that's import videos. I'll just follow along.
Well, but if it doesn't help, it isn't good. So graphic, that's not gonna help. So with your text, see if I can make a face with letters. This might not be helpful at all then.
There's a free trial, but not that they can do. But other than that, they'd have to, can't use it.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate. It's an awesome app, but it's kind of spendy. But you can add on to these things and make anything talk. So you can take a picture of someone, you can take a screenshot, and you can use your screenshot in the My Talking Pet, I don't know, or any picture you take. So let's see what we have. Janice's mic is picking up and her camera is the one that is prominent.
That's why I put that on you.
Okay.
But I can't see the chat now. So.
All right. There. That's better. So I think you probably, I mean, we've given you a bunch of this stuff.
This is what they need for next class.
Yeah, but it's
10:30, 10:25.
Oh, Okay. So how many of you are in the 11 o'clock class?
Which is very.
All right.
I was gonna come.
So if you're in the 11 o'clock class and you need to like go to the bathroom and get a drink or do something like that, you're totally welcome to do that. I think right now it's probably best to start thinking about what you want to make a video of. We would really like this to be something that you can start your year with. We're probably looking at our school, we're probably looking at virtual open house. So this would be a way that maybe teachers could introduce themselves and show that we have classrooms ready for your kids to join us. We have our stuff right here as soon as the numbers are down. You know, we look forward to having you come in. I know personally, I get really uncomfortable about it being videotaped. So whenever like I do a read aloud book and I'm videoing myself, there are places I would really like to cut out, and that this is a chance to do that kind of thing. Having the background music while you have a presentation, I don't know, somehow it makes it less stressful to me, or it seems a little bit more professional. Putting in, if you can take in some of your still pictures in between video sets, then you can add titles so that you're introducing the next piece. But I think really in order to get to the next step, it really needs to be time for you to play with this stuff a little bit. So can we give you 10 minutes to start looking around and putting something together? Yeah. Okay.
So clarification, so for the next class in a week or so, you want us to have a video ready?
Yeah, and some ideas of what you want to do with the green screen.
Okay.
So we'll have the green, we have it here, but we'll set it up for next week, a green screen, and start talking about ways that you can have things fly through your video and add different, I don't know, exciting little pieces to your video. But that would be next week using it. It would be really nice if you can find something green. Penny, is that tent, do you have that tent in your background picture? I tried to wait till you took a bite. Okay, are you in it? Oh, you're muted.
I do have that green tent, but what I have behind me is my gray tent right now.
Okay, because that green tent in that picture is perfect. So when I took like my fish tank and it has all those really bright green plants in it, and then I started playing with the background, I could actually turn those green plants into like fire colored plants or different colors. So anything that people like behind Michael, he's got that really awesome fern, and he could turn that any color he wanted because it's the same color as a green screen. So it's kind of fun to play with that if you wear like a green shirt so that you're a floating head. There are different things you can do that make green screen kind of fun. And with kids, if you were to send home a piece of green paper, like a big piece of the butcher paper that they can tape up on a wall, then they can start recording themselves and sending in their videos, and you can put together, you know, a collection of whatever the assignment was and make like a movie out of that. But I'm going to give you, how about 10 minutes just to play around with the different things, play around with sounds, play around with sound effects, pull in movies of any kind you want. If you want to start thinking about a movie to make between now and then or getting started on that, that works too. And I'll set a timer that goes off.
Okay, sorry, I confused. I have to run and get a COVID shot in between the classes. It's not a COVID shot, sorry. The test, I'm just having a little procedure on Wednesday.
If you actually get the test, you'll know.
Oh yeah, they won't operate on you unless you are COVID free. So is now a good time to leave, and then I'll come back for the 11 o'clock as closely as I can. Okay, thanks everyone. See you next time. I'll just, where's
And people
Hey, Stacy and Jan.
Yes.
Hi, we have a question in the chat that was sent to me. What do you recommend for iMovie on a PC?
It is, so we found one last night and it takes a lot of going through apps. It is free and I need to pull it up. It is called Filmora, Filmora.
Filmora.
There's also WeVideo, or I think it's WeVideo,
WeVideo.
but it is very limited until you pay. I think you can do one video, maybe.
And Jessica, yes.
Michael, do you know how many free you can use with WeVideo? I think it's just one movie. I see that you've used it. I've not used it much.
This past quarter, they opened it up for teachers. So I'm not sure if they're going to continue that.
That's we get used to things with this COVID free, access, and then we don't get that later.
I'm hoping. Yes, I'm hoping that they kind of continue. I think it's like 5 videos at a time, but you just you download the one you want and then create the new project. The good thing about WeVideo is that it works on Chromebooks. So right. You can use that with a classroom or use it with students.
Have you done the green screen with the Chromebooks with WeVideo?
No, that's actually the one thing. The only green screen app I've used is TS Studio on the iPad. Right. But to sort of work with other platforms, I haven't.
Yeah, so, the Dewey one is really easy to use, but it is a paid app, on the iOS. But kids can navigate that really easily. I just wish that we could come up with something. I don't know if WeVideo has a green screen component to it, if they've kind of upped their game like iMovie did.
I'm not sure. It would be. I could look into it.
Yeah, I just haven't. I'm not familiar with it. I've used iMovie for years, but I haven't used the WeVideo. I have iMacs at school, not a bank. I just have a bank of them, like 4 or 5. The kids, and we have iPads, so they can record on, do their videos on the iPad and then upload it into the iMac and do their editing on that. Yep. So it's kind of nice. I'm spoiled. I have lots of technology, but so I haven't used WeVideo enough to be able to teach it or even talk about it here. So it's nice to know that there's 5. So that would be a solution to somebody looking for a non-iOS. Just I haven't found anything great that's truly free for PCs. Have you?
No, like I said, that's the only one I've come across so far. There's a few other ones that I've been playing around with but yeah, that's the one I've been moving towards.
Yeah.
So WeVideo says start a classroom of 30 students. Price starts at $300 a year.
Yeah, it's spendy if you're, that's why since we have the iPads already at school and iMovie's on it, that's why I've used that with them. But if you don't have those, that becomes another tricky venture, trying to get some kind of a system with your district.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, I don't think we're just going to have money to buy anything for a while. Our district's running pretty short, and I'm not sure about Portland Public for you.
I'm not sure. We're still waiting to see what's going to look like in the next couple of weeks. But
have you gone more than 2 weeks distance learning, or are you still just the first 2 weeks? I don't know what Portland Public haven't.
We've been distance learning since March, and then
for fall.
For fall till November, the first week of November.
Okay, so our district has not given us an end date. They just say we're going distance learning. They're not saying when we'll end, which is okay. That way they can turn on a dime. but it makes sense.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You ready to show? Go ahead. No. What are you doing?
So are any questions coming up?
Will you all be able to find something for a green background? Is that a doable thing? Can you let us know that? I know, Michael, you said you have a green screen setup. Does everybody else have a capability of recording a video with a green screen, or having your kids do it, or whoever? Just you need some kind of a video for next time, because then we can get into how to make it into that whole green screen iMovie. Yeah, Dollar Tree tablecloths work great. You know, they're not bad at all.
So Rebecca, how big is your school?
In Junction City School District, we have 5 classrooms of each grade level.
Okay.
So about 130, 150 kids per class.
How are they doing that?
Because you guys are going back in building?
That will be an option, but yes, we're all slated to be back in building 5 days a week. Parents have a choice of sending their kids 5 days a week, doing a kind of a Google Classroom thing, or doing an online option.
So what about the governor's last requirements? Like if it ends up that we don't,
Then we all switch to being remote learning again.
yeah, that's where we are too.
So Marion County isn't doing really great, which is where my school is at. So we're pretty much counting on being distance learning because we can't open with that.
My guess is that's what we're going to end up doing too, but as of right now, we're slated to be in school 5 days a week.
That's us too. We're gonna set up classrooms and get everything ready.
Yep.
So I'm in Lake Oswego School District, and we were told the first 9 weeks, everyone's virtual. Then after that, we'll decide, but we have the option as parents to choose a complete online virtual all year. And so over 800 students plus signed up for that option. So they're scrambling to find 40 teachers to teach 800 plus students completely online for the year. But know that we know that if we open November 1st, that there will be some people who put feet on the floor in a classroom. But those who signed up for a year can't walk into a class. We're solid stuck, not stuck, but we are solid in for a year, and that's our choice. So they gave us that choice.
Salem's doing too. You can pick something that's online all year, but when you sign up for it, that's what it is.
Right.
Or the hybrid.
Right.
They have entry points, I think at the trimester or semester, where you can re-enter,
right,
school if you want to, but you can't pop in and out like the hybrid model where they go in and out of distance learning and back into the classroom.
Crazy.
Called Edge for Salem Kaiser if you wanted to look up what they're doing for their online portion.
So Jessica, you asked about any particular shade of green. A bright green works really well.
Lime green.
Just like a lime green or a bright spring green.
That's what I had thought, because when I'd seen green screens before, they're always bright green. But I wasn't sure when you were talking about the tent and stuff. I wasn't sure if it mattered. So.
No, that tent was just like the perfect color. So when I bought a green screen to use for these trainings, and I think it was around $70, and it has we'll show it next week, but it has a holder and clips, and you can pull on it. And then I bought lights and we'll talk about it next week, but if you can light between yourself and the screen, that helps things to look more natural.
Well, then I'm just going to steal yours.
There you go. It will be in my office. Yeah.
Yep.
Yay, oh, yay. Okay, is everybody doing all right?
We need to give them a bathroom break.
So if you think of things that kind of were stopping points, I know when I start playing with it, all of a sudden the music goes too long or it goes too short, or the title's not coming in the right place, or just all these little things. If you want you have our emails in that group email, and just send us an email and we can communicate back and forth during this week. It would be really nice to be able to start next week sharing what we made. And it doesn't have to be anything that has anything to do with school, or you can be making something that you want to use for school. Anybody want to share what they want to work on?
I'm thinking, well, I was just kind of thinking about it while you guys were talking, and I'm thinking it would be neat to do like phonics lessons with the green screen and have the different things popping up, you know, when we're switching between, you know, different blends or different onsets and rhymes, and just kind of having that up on the screen rather than me having to have a board that I've written stuff down on or something like that. So that's kind of where my mind was going.
Yay.
I also have some video clips of my students putting on a play before we were doing distance learning. So I have been planning for a long time to snip it and kind of clip them together. So I'm going to work on that.
So one thing I learned the hard way is that the iMovie, it brings in video, but it doesn't make a copy of it yet. So whatever you're bringing in, you're changing, and the iMovie will keep track of those changes. But if you go into your photos on your computer and you delete those, it will suck it right out of your iMovie. And so make sure that you're not deleting off of your computer any of the pictures or movies that you want to use in your iMovie. I found that I had all these, because I did several Zoom meetings individually with students. And then, so I had like 45 minutes of a meeting, and then I just wanted to pick their favorite pieces. I wanted to make a present to the teachers and families about what was school like when you came to school and your teacher was right there in the same room with you, and then what has school been like when your teacher is a parent or a grandparent or a babysitter. And so I had these 40-minute Zoom meetings that I was going to pick out my favorite parts, and that really filled up my computer, and I didn't pay attention to that, and I started deleting some of the videos because I figured I already picked out everything I needed. I'll just delete this one. But what it ended up doing was deleting it out of the movie as well. And then you get these gray pieces with exclamation marks telling you that you no longer have access to that. So it's something to keep in mind when you're putting your your movie together. In the end, you can save it, and you can save it to your computer, or you can upload it onto like YouTube, and then that will keep everything and you're good to go.
So I haven't used YouTube before. I mean, I've used YouTube, but not as a poster or whatever. So is that something we're going to talk about, or is that something that I should look into on my own?
We definitely can. You can make your own channel, and you can make your channel private, which we would recommend that you make a school channel. If you have your own personal channel, you should make a school channel for your school things. And you can upload right onto YouTube. It'll give you a link. Then you can put the link in emails to families or load it up to whatever system your school lets out what homeworks are. Like you can attach it to your Google Classroom or whatever. They're to me.
I know, because the voice is coming from this one.
Okay. I think that's what I hate the most about this is the whole video piece. Super hate it.
Stacy, I would love to replicate what you did with that video. So
it was awesome. She's talking about YouTube. The way, if you upload your iMovies to YouTube, it's a much easier way to share that with your families than to try to figure out how to share an iMovie when they don't have an iOS device. So I think that teaching that the last day would be a good thing about how to set up your YouTube and import it into that would be a good addition.
Well, and it'd be fun to do a read aloud with your class, like have Zoom meetings with 2 or 3 kids at a time, have them read pages, then do a Zoom meeting with 2 or 3 other kids and have them read the next few pages and then put it all together. You can take pictures of the book as long as you are saying who the author is, who the publisher is, if you're giving credit. And that way you can show, the kids reading it, and then you show the page, and then 2 more kids reading the next 2 pages and showing the page. And you can add that happy light music underneath so it seems really professional. You can put up the name of the book and the the credits for the author.
Or even doing book snaps or book chats, and where kids are just, talking about their favorite book and doing a little bit of a retell of it. And we talk about collaborating with or having our kids do collaborative learning all the time. And how can we make that in a virtual classroom? So perhaps this is a way that they can do it, even if you do those small groups or a breakout room where if you have an instructional assistant that can break out with them, where they create their book trailer for a book, and then you end up having all of these book suggestions or trailers or summaries, or they can do their book report this way or work together collaboratively. But we've got to find a way to get that into our virtual classrooms, which is the trickiest thing for me. That's one of my big standards is, having them being collaborators on technology. So we're going to be doing a lot of that this year.
Are you guys going to be talking about the screencasting and things like that in this class or in the other class?
Screencastify?
Probably.
Are you talking about Screencastify?
I don't know what I'm talking about, but where I can show what's on my, where they can see a little video of me, but also see what's going on my screen.
Screencastify does that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
In iMovie, you have an option of doing picture and screen and picture. Anyway, yeah, you can do that.
Some districts do restrict access to YouTube, but ours does not yet right now. They have, and I think if you have your own YouTube channel, they can, you can allow some of it. So it just depends on your district. Mine has been pretty good about allowing us to be able to teach. Okay. I need to go out to sign up for the next class. So we'll get ready because we're 5 minutes.
So I guess we're done. We'll see you either in 5 minutes or in a week, depending on what you signed up for.
I think I have one more thing. I think Mark just joined us for the waiting room. Mark, I want to make sure, are you coming in for the 11 o'clock class? Because our 9 o'clock class just ended. So if you're coming in for the 11 o'clock class, I'm going to ask you to log out because we're going to leave this meeting and log in with the 11 o'clock Zoom info. If Mark is listening. I don't know. Hi, Mark.
We can just kick him out.
We are going to kick him out and let him come back in.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
To do your green screen movie, and we'll get on that next week.
We look really forward to seeing your movies too.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Okay.